Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report Summer League edition. Second Celtics Summer League practice just wrapped up over down the street in front of some heavy construction, which sent us down here to Boston Landing at Auerbach Center today. JD Davison getting introduced. We just did a video on that. You can go check out at Celtics All Access what we saw from him in a Celtics scrimmage among a Celtics summer roster that's finally complete. One of the last rosters to get announced because of a move. Still unofficial. No comment on it today from the Celtics because it hasn't gone through. I believe Juwann Morgan's guarantee or something like that has to go through on July 8th to get that done. But that move from Malcolm Brogdon did take out 4 potential members of the Celtics Summer League squad. Aaron Nesmith, of course, as well as Juwann Morgan, Malik Fitz, Nick Stauskas. So 4 holes to fill alongside Yam Madar, who's competing in Europe rather than joining the Celtics here at Summer League. And they filled those today. 4 players coming in, rounding out the roster. One of them, Northeastern State, born 1991, older guy on this roster, Britton Hobbs, who's the cousin of Jayson Tatum. He'll be joining this squad, as well as Trevion Williams, an intriguing prospect out of Purdue. The two-way players from last year, Matt Ryan, who hit a couple of tough three-pointers in the scrimmage today, as well as Brodric Thomas, who played on that two-way as well last year. Sam Hauser, JD Davison, probably the 2 names most people are going to be looking for on this roster. Hauser set to return to the Celtics on a 3-year deal with multiple guaranteed years that really show their encouragement with him as an offensive player with size who can get his shot off. Suffered a shoulder injury in the playoffs and didn't play a ton in his rookie season, but shined in Maine as a 44% shooter on high volume, 13 threes a game when he'd play up there. Just knockdown shooter. You saw it at Virginia and his overall college career before that. He's really encouraging. You saw him being able to put it on the floor today as well. A secondary level driver who can attack closeouts. Those are the things you're going to want to see from Sam Hauser here. Also the defensive strides that Ime Udoka talked about late in the year as well. I asked Ben Sullivan, who's going to be coaching the Celtics here in Summer League, about what he's seen from Hauser defensively growing, as well as other areas of the game behind the scenes this year.
Well, that's for any guy. Like when you're working to improve as a player, you got to understand individually what you need to do as a defender and like how you can be effective. And then also within the context of the team, like how to be a better team defender. And so, Sam spent some time in Maine, some time here, some time working, in the play groups and all that stuff. And he was great every step of the way, just really understanding there are different things that he had to work on in order to get better and try to get on the floor.
So Hauser, really encouraging. You're going to want to see Juhann Begarin as well, who had a solid scrimmage today, a turnover, but also behind the back feed in transition. Still the best part of his game. Projects to be that transition breakout game, getting off the stops, being versatile in the defensive end. You love how he projects to fit in Ime Udoka's system years down the line if there's room for him to integrate into it. Doesn't seem like he's going to be part of the Celtics this year. Who knows, maybe next year, 2 years down the line, after some growth at the highest level of France's top league, you'll see him get involved with the Celtics here. But in the meantime, coaches, people around Summer League were really excited about what Juhann Begarin showed off last year in that Summer League setting. A shot that comes and goes, but he did hit a 3 from JD Davison here today. He's going to be really exciting. Obviously part of the starting lineup out here. Along with Williams, I would imagine, Matt Ryan, Brodric Thomas, and Sam Hauser. Maybe JD Davison getting fit in there as well once Hauser takes a seat, which I'm sure won't be too long into Summer League out here. Some of the top guys don't usually play as long. Some other encouraging names on the list, guys that could maybe get involved in the mix here for a G League spot with the Celtics, or a 2-way one if they really shine. Mfiondu Kabengele getting going with the Celtics here. He's had a few stops, including the Clippers. Drafted out of Florida State. I did get to cover him, see him go off against Syracuse during my time covering Syracuse out there. And he's a guy that can shoot the ball with size, score in a number of different ways. Hasn't really caught on at the NBA level, but 2 guys coming out of Florida State that year, Terrence Mann, who obviously has become a mainstay with the Clippers ever since, and Kabengele. I thought Kabengele was the more encouraging of those 2 players coming out, just with his size and that shooting ability and the high volume of scoring he was giving Florida State back then off the bench. ultimately didn't pan out, but good to see him here in Celtics camp as well. AJ Reeves, a local guy out of Providence who has a little bit of hype coming with him. And a number of local guys worked out for the Celtics, but ultimately didn't land with the roster here. So that's basically the gist of the Celtics summer roster here. Jordan Bone, a guy who you remember from the Celtics post-game show when we were doing one of those Magic shows, kicking it around. He's joined this roster as well. And it's kind of a scrap-together squad after, as we mentioned, number of guys leaving via that Malcolm Brogdon trade. You had Grant Williams officiating at the scrimmage today. That was the other funny part. Ben Sullivan talking about Grant learning just how hard it is to officiate today as he put the whistle on and made a few foul calls around along the sideline. So Grant Williams, the lone member of the real Celtics team, hanging around the summer squad. Maybe you'll see him out in Vegas as well. Always great to see a number of Celtics people still around the squad just weeks after their finals run. Ben Sullivan saying today that loss stung, but they had a great run. They're keen to expectations here in Boston, just what it takes to play in a city like this. Championship, obviously the goal, but felt like they learned a bunch. And this summer opportunity is going to be for the players themselves to try to show that they can factor into what the Celtics are doing here, because obviously 1 to 10 at this point, the roster's pretty set. Who can get a full-time deal? 3 roster spots left for the Celtics as we move into the second week of the offseason here, and a couple two-way spots up for grabs as well. How's it all going to shake out? We'll see. And we'll have coverage at Las Vegas Summer League. First 3 games will be at live for CLNS Media. Ashrod Blakely may be making an appearance down there as well. And it's, of course, brought to you by com.com/garden. 40% off a premium subscription when you go there. Sign up now. Sleep, help, meditation, sounds, bedtime stories, anything you can imagine, even curated music tracks to calm you down throughout the course of your day. And you can get it for 40% off when you go to com.com/garden. Help us bring you more coverage of the Boston Celtics through Summer League into next year on the road. Obviously, you saw us at every round of the playoffs, whether it was Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, and ultimately San Francisco. We didn't miss a beat the whole way. Help us continue to cover this beat as effectively as anyone. Garden Report, big help. Go to com.com/garden and get 40% off a premium subscription. Send it to John Zanis, John_Zanis on Twitter. DM it to him. You might get a Cedric Maxwell shirt, as he said on our last show here. So appreciate you guys being with us here. Go check out our other video, JD Davison introduced here at Celtics Summer League practice. And we'll see you on Thursday for another round before the Celtics and CLNS Media head off for Las Vegas Summer League with the hat, with the sunscreen, pair of glasses, and get ready to brave the 110-degree heat down in Nevada.